It's wine. That is wine. Right. So why is this here? This is my world building book. Why is that there? This can go there. A stressful day. What an absolutely stressful day. Yeah, I think that works better. Oh, it's been absolutely... Why is my hand stuck? Why is my hand stuck? There we go. Oh, dear God. Okay. Right, so here we are today. Typing. Have you ever had a day that's been so bloody hideous? Like, today has been so stressful. I wouldn't say it's been the most stressful day of my life, but it's been stressful. And... And nothing should ever be that stressful. So I'm just working on short stories today. You alright? Oh yes, I realise I put a twist in the story. Hello Raffles, and I'm very excited about that. Hello. Yes. Okay, I think I'm going to make some. I've been teaching all morning, all day. I started at 7:30. I finish at 5 p.m. And oh my goodness, it's been a tough day. It really has. Well, not in a bad way, never in a bad way. It's just been a long day. Very long-winded. So I'm just working on some fantasy stories now. Oh, actually, let me get my laptop. I need to check a few. Oh, I need to check a few facts. Yeah, my old MacBook is an absolute beast, and I will be switching it up soon, but I'm so worried about transferring all my information to a new laptop, so that does scare me just a little bit. So I believe this laptop is like from 20... No, I think it's from 2000... I'm going to say 2006, but that could be really wrong. But it's really old. But it's so bomb-proof. But then it's a lot of the writing applications I use are starting to... Basically, the software updates are no longer working for Scrivener. So even though I've got Scrivener on this and it works amazingly, I have to move to a new MacBook, which is fine. But Scrivener is not updating as normal, and I totally understand that. Vellum doesn't work at all anymore, which is very interesting. Hmm. Okay. Something's not going well here, but I can fix it later. Okay, I'm just going to pop this back in its rightful position. The good thing is, even though I had all this work today, I've done 8.5 hours of teaching today. So on a Monday, it's always 8.5 hours of teaching, and no one is budging. So it's 8.5 hours of teaching today, but tomorrow, because it's now the summer holidays, I have a free day. So it's absolutely amazing. So lots of writing is going to be done tomorrow. Inside, they found a hidden chamber containing an ancient glowing artifact. I don't like the sound of that, for some reason. I don't like things that glow. Why did I write that? I don't like glowy things. Sounds a bit twee. And I don't like the word relic as well. So I'm gonna find a different word to replace relic, I think. If anyone is working on anything in particular, please do share. And if you want to share, I'm working on some short stories. I'm just typing all that up and tidying it up. Now, it might sound crazy to you, but this is not for sale or anything. This is just me writing for the fun of it. Yes, I am still working on my series, but this is just me writing just some extra piece of work because that's the way I am. So I don't mind writing as much as possible because I find it fun. Right, 1 second, I'm just gonna get some tea. So something I never saw happening was all the drama surrounding the live streams. I put up a live stream just to test out the waters and see what was happening, what was going on, and it was an absolute disaster. So what's happened is there have been some copyright issues with a clip from the live stream, because obviously I pre-recorded the live stream. However, what's really interesting is many YouTubers have had similar issues with this clip because it's got a Creative Commons license, but what another music artist has done is taken the clip as soon as it was released and put his music over it and claimed it as his. So it's very, very confusing. So we've had to report it to the owner of the actual video, who's got the license and who's given us the made the license public. So now he has to deal with it. So it's all been a mess. So each time I put the video up, I didn't know what was happening. This was the live stream, but YouTube kept taking it down. And I was like, I don't understand what's wrong here. I've got a license for the music. I've got a license for the images. It's my own work as well. So I didn't understand it. But it's all actually just got to do with that one little clip. And it was an absolute disaster. Really, really frustrating to deal with all round. So I've just had to edit the actual live stream. And editing a video that you don't, especially like a story video, where you don't know what the issue is, because YouTube was saying it was a music issue, but then when you actually looked at the video, the music they said was playing in the video wasn't any music I used in the video. So I thought, what's going on? So I went to look at the video of the artist who claimed it, and it wasn't the music, it was the image. But the image wasn't his, which was just really, really interesting. The image is it's just part of a Creative Commons license. And when I went to this video that claimed the music, like this artist account that claimed the music, there were so many people complaining about the copyright strikes and all sorts of things and copyright claims. It's an absolute nightmare. So I'm hoping, because I know YouTube can't do anything about it because it's not a sound issue, it's actually an image issue, but it's going to lie with the other accounts to deal with it, which is going to be a pain, a real pain. And I have a feeling it's going to go on for quite a long time. And it's such a fraudulent thing to do as well, but hey ho, that is what happens in these situations sometimes. I'm going to do a little plotting today. Raffles, that's very annoying. Raffles. Thank you. So I just tend to write what I want to achieve for the writing session, just so I have some sort of an aim or target, you know? Okay, I'm going to just grab my tea. I'll be right back. That's my milk. Oh. Right. I also want to go on a book shopping spree, and I thought I could do it on a live stream, but I need to figure out. I could do it on a. I could do it on a live stream actually. So I'm just thinking out loud here. Don't mind me. If anyone is working on anything in particular and you'd like to share, please do. Sharing is really important. So I'm just working on a collection of stories, and the good thing of when you start writing a story is the idea seems so simple at first and so trite and just ridiculous, and then you work on it and gradually it just evolves into something absolutely fascinating, and that's what I'm finding here. So at the moment, I can't actually have close-ups of the writing because I'm writing stuff that is quite because these are ideas for stories and plots and plans, and I've been told that it's better to just write from a distance rather than having everyone see what I'm writing because it could be quite confidential. So if you ever have a writing live stream, you have to remember that, yeah, you'd like to share what you're writing with everybody, but at the same time, you have to, especially if you've got some sort of publishing deal or when you're working for someone, you cannot reveal what you're writing. You can give them the idea of it, but you can't reveal it because you'll be under a contract. So it's very, very important to remember that. Yeah, so I've just sort of seen the chat. Hi Kat, what are you teaching? I teach English. Images on the internet are not all public domain unless the owner makes them public domain. So I've just seen all the messages now. So these were made, these were given a Creative Commons license, so you can use them. But this very silly little musician took the image and put his music over it and then claimed the image as his own. So that's sort of got many YouTubers very riled up. And when I went to his page to say, what's going on here? There were like over 100 people complaining, so it's going to become quite messy for him, I think. Cottage manuscripts. What's your process when it comes to plotting? I'm starting to plot a lot more because what I do is I get an idea. Maybe I see someone or I see something that gives me an idea. So it could be, okay, there's a plant here. Okay, there's a little plant here. It's a little palm. And literally I see a palm and I think, tropical country, murder, tropical country, murder, birdhouse. And I write those 3 things down. And it sounds a bit silly, but I can actually make an entire story around those 3 things. But because they've come to my mind quite randomly, I start to plot little ideas and write little sentences down. That will help aid the story along. And sometimes with these stories, you get very simple ideas, but they grow into something so big. And that's the beauty of it. So I have started plotting quite a lot because I find plotting, if you want to write for profit or if you want to write for to order, or if you're working with publishers, you need to plot. When I wrote that series, I didn't plot. I was in a very romantic mood. I was in a very, this is great. Writing is a hobby. And then I had to write that. And I thought, actually, maybe plotting makes so much more sense. So I have started plotting, but you get an idea. You just get little flashes of things that come to mind. And what I say to people is, don't be afraid to have anything be an idea. It could be a cup. Like, this is a little old jar. I use it as a drinking cup, a drinking glass, because why not? And you can see that, and you can think, a woman gets poisoned. A woman drinks poisoned water. How did it get in her glass? And it just sounds very simple, but you could just build on that gradually and gradually and gradually, and then it becomes a fantastic story. And that's why I always say to people, don't discount your ideas because they sound silly. They sound silly in your head because you're building them up, but you have to give yourself time. And you have to give yourself time to just relax and just let the ideas happen. Because I think as human beings, we're so busy trying to control everything. We're trying to control our emotions. We're trying to control our moods. We're just trying to control everything. We need to just let it be and just relax. And I find we're not relaxed enough, unfortunately. Heathens, I did the main plot in a day. I decided I'd work on 7 books. I could get it out over 7 books. Interesting story. I know I'm rambling a lot today. I might be a bit tired. But when I did those 3, obviously I first did those 3 when I was a kid. So the idea came when I was a child. But that's fair enough. When I first started rewriting them as an adult, I actually put all 3 books into one book. So I'm talking about a 270,000 word book. So if you imagine it, it would have been this thick. And don't forget that the lettering is fairly small in these books. And I'll never forget my editor saying to me, "What's wrong with you?" I thought, oh, yeah, it's 3 books, as it should be, because it's 1 book, as it should be, because I've just put everything in 1 book. And she said, no, you can't just do that. You can't just cram everything in. You have to have natural breaking points in the story. And I've never thought about that. But she said it just makes sense to split them up, because these represent 3 very different stages in the books, where there's certain key points in the book. So that's all around the dwellers finding their way. The dwellers are being chased. They arrive in modern day London. Browning House is around the mysterious house and trying to find out how it's linked to the dwellers. The Longest Night, and then obviously from Browning House you start to find out other factors about the people after the dwellers, and then The Longest Night ties it all up neatly. And she said, you don't just lump it all up into one book. You have to think in a more business sense, So I decided Heathens would be split into 7 books, because Heathens is witches and warlocks, and the different clans of witches and warlocks, and then you have all these magical worlds across the seas, and then you have the magical elements across the seas as well, from the different continents. And then the heathens, they live alongside the humans, but they live separately, because they live in secret. They're hiding in plain sight, so to speak. And I decided 7 books, and I've actually drafted each book, so I know what's going to be in each book. And that really does help, especially if you want to get covers designed and you want to have a clean, fascinating story and fascinating series. Is really important. And Heathens is quite dark as well, because it's very dark magic, blood magic inspired. So I just wanted to make sure I got everything in, but in a organized manner that was good, that was at a good pace for the reader, because the book has to be it has to be paced well, because that's why you can't stop turning it, flipping the pages, because of the pacing. It has to be paced really well. Purchase codes today. Okay, I hope you really enjoy it. I hope you love the dark academia series. But I love writing it, and I'm planning on writing another dark academia series. This is all around polo and the polo world, because I used to play polo before the end of the year, so I'm very excited about that. But first I have to get my new laptop physically into the country, because that's proving to be a bit of a sticky point at the moment. But yeah. If anyone wants to talk about their books as well, please feel free. It's always nice to see people engage with each other around stories and books and storytelling. I'm also treating myself to a stationery buying spree, as weird as that sounds. I think I owe myself stationery at this point. I want to get a few more pens, a few more inks, some paper, and maybe a journal or two. I'll see. Probably not the right economy for it, but hey, I don't splurge on anything else. I think I deserve it. I do deserve it. And also, I know some people were complaining about the live stream disappearing, because what happened was when the copyright thing became apparent, YouTube started trying to take the video down, so they chopped certain bits of the video where the clip had appeared. It was such a nightmare. So I woke up this morning to YouTube saying, "Hello, you have a copyright claim." I'm like, what? Again? And I realised that it was all linked to the clip. So I have uploaded it again, but hopefully I will start the live stream again. So if you've missed any stories, these are all old world stories, and I am going to add to them as I go along. And they're the stories that have really inspired me. Some of them might be a bit dark, but I do put little warnings at the beginning of each video if they're going to be particularly dark. But most of them are just superstitious fun, you know, because I grew up in a very superstitious country, and West Africa, I think, is probably the most superstitious place in the world. That region is particularly superstitious. So, and I loved it. I loved it. It was very fun. And, And it's one of the reasons actually why I'm not yet playing any music on the live stream, because I just want to be sure that, because obviously I do have a company I use for all the YouTube music on my videos, but I just want to be sure, you know, because it can go very horribly wrong if someone launches a wrong copyright claim, it can go very, very horribly wrong, and that just leads to further issues. How long does it take me to finish a novel? It depends. Definitely over a month, because I'm quite a romantic writer and I like to take my time. So it's definitely over a month. I know some people like to speed it and, work to deadlines, and I do like that, but I don't like to feel that stress. And I genuinely want to enjoy writing. So I would say, if I'm going for deadlines, probably 3 months. 3 months is a good time. But I do like to enjoy it and not rush myself and enjoy creating characters, and if I'm comfortable with them. I think also if you tend to rush writing a story or a book, you might miss out on developing the story even further. So sometimes it's best to take your time and write the best story you can. Hey, John T. Jenny, I want to start writing my first story. Do you have any tips for creating a captivating beginning? No, I was just explaining, I believe, to Cottage Manuscript that no, you just have to. When you think of your first story, what do you think of? I mean, you don't need to tell me, but first of all, I think I wouldn't focus on a genre yet, because you could make up your own genre, and I know that sounds a bit silly, but you need to just go with what your gut is telling you. What do you want to put down right now? And I tend to go with my gut instincts, and I tend to say to people, go with an object, go with something that is mysterious, like a little candlestick. candlestick holder. That's my little candlestick holder, and you could look at that, and maybe you could stir something up within you, and you think, oh, candlestick holder in a cottage by the woods, and it's perhaps a haunted cottage. And I know that sounds a bit silly, but then you could elaborate on that and make it more of a story. So you need to perhaps look at things that inspire you, go for a walk that will inspire you, but just do something that will inspire you and get you more relaxed. That's how I see it. This character, that character in Browning House, because I had to rewrite him as an adult. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, it's really bad. I had to rewrite him as an adult because I first wrote him as a kid, but when I wrote him as a kid, he was quite silly, and I needed inspiration as an adult. And I was standing at a bus stop in London, and it was a rainy day, and a man went past with these brown wingtip leather shoes, very expensive looking, very expensive leather, and I thought, that's him. And then I wrote this entire character, who's very wealthy, refined, but extremely troubled, and quite sadistic, I would say, quite sociopathic. So yeah, you have to go with any inspiration you find around you. You have to start with, have you ever written anything before? And if you haven't, you just have to keep writing, and you have to practice your writing as well, because I think that's how you get better, and that's how you get more confident. And I believe you should be able to read your writing back to yourself. So if anyone is working on anything in particular or wants inspiration, I would say you have to get yourself to a point where you're really relaxed. Yeah, you have to get yourself to a point where you're really relaxed, and you'll be surprised at how much you can observe around you. And since I've moved, I'm in a really strange, I think, communist tower block in Central Europe. This is where I'm living right now, and I've never lived in a tower block. And I think they tend to have these very dark stairwells, very dark and moody. And it's so interesting to me because the building itself is so moody. It gives me all types of inspiration. And I'm actually going to do a video about that, about some inspiration I've gotten for a book. But yeah, that's going to be quite an interesting video. Thank you. That was a cool story. Getting spontaneous inspiration from real life. Yeah, you will get spontaneous inspiration from real life all the time. You just have to let it happen and trust yourself that you can use that spontaneous inspiration to create something fascinating and interesting. And it can come from absolutely anywhere whatsoever. So I've got 2 stories ready now. Is fantasy more complex to write since you have to create a new world with its own rules? Or do you find it easier with all the freedom? I find it easier with all the freedom. But I find fantasy writing very romantic. But I do find it easier. I don't find writing fantasy difficult at all. And I tend to write what's called low fantasy. So there's high fantasy, and I write low fantasy. And if you give low fantasy a Google, it will explain it all. But yeah, I find it just beautiful, easy, fun. Very fun to write, definitely. Oh boy, something's gone wrong here. Okay, fair enough. It's not going back. It's not backspacing, that's fine. No, I haven't seen the studio. I haven't seen Whisper of the Heart. No, it was fairly quiet here after that game. I know Hungary won, but it was fairly quiet because I think they sort of just won, so it wasn't like they won by a landslide or any sort of thing. It was just they just got the goal in. I think that was at the last minute, so it's not really an overwhelming victory over Scotland. So yeah, well, it was very quiet. No, I wasn't deleting. It just everything froze. I'm just not gonna force it. It wasn't deleting. It just all froze. So. Oh, good. This is tied in smoothly. That's good. Oh, I see. I see. Oh, quite fancy, quite fanciful and fantastical all at the same time. No, yeah, I understood what you meant. What is this? The cat returns. Hmm. Okay. She realised she'd been tricked and was in danger of being trapped in the town. She started to run, but to escape and get to the forest. She would be safe in the forest. Hmm. Ah, thank you. Thank you very much, Christ Conquers. I'm very tired. Mm-hmm. Okay, everybody, I'm going to stop there because I am absolutely exhausted. It's been 7.5 hours of teaching today, and I just need to lie down and just shut my eyes. So I'm going to end the live stream there. There'll be another live stream coming on, hopefully in a few minutes. It's the I'm gonna set it from 10 o'clock, and it's the Old World Stories live stream, probably for only about an hour or 2 hours, but it's just a group of stories that explain the inspiration behind my writing. I hope you enjoy them, and I'll see you all tomorrow. I will schedule another live stream for tomorrow, and I'll see you all, but I'm absolutely exhausted today. I'm just done for the day, so I'm going to go rest. And my ideas, when I stop being able to think and get ideas down, it's time to stop for the day. Alright, so I'll see you tomorrow. If you are writing, please do keep writing, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.